Hey, what is up guys? 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 here, and today I can confidently say I think I found the best drone for beginners. It has 360-degree obstacle avoidance. It can shoot in 4K with incredible dynamic range. It even has a ton of flight modes, smart flight modes that make it really easy for beginners to pick up and use this drone. And on top of that, it can even shoot vertical content. This is the DJI Mini 4 Pro. It's tiny, lightweight, and delivers incredible results. Huge thanks to DJI for sending me a unit to review, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Definitely my favorite feature about the Mini 4 Pro is that it's incredibly lightweight and compact. I can fit the drone, a controller, and 2 batteries into my 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 sling bag. My biggest issue in the past with drones was that it was always heavy and it took up a lot of space, and I'd have to lug it around everywhere with me in my camera bag, to the point where when we were on trips, I would just rather leave it in the hotel than have to bring it with me all day long. But with the Mini 4 Pro measuring in at less than 6 by 4 inches, weighing 249 grams, it's worth always tossing in the camera bag just in case I want to get a shot. If you live in the United States, because the drone is under 250 grams, as long as you're planning on just flying it recreationally, you do not have to register the drone with the FAA. Plus, if you live outside the United States or plan to travel internationally, in countries like the UK or France, the laws around drones are significantly more lax when it comes to drones under 250 grams. Of course, always check local laws and regulations before you fly. All right, now let's talk about the video quality you can expect out of the DJI Mini 4 Pro. First of all, the lens on this camera is a 24mm focal length equivalence, which is honestly the perfect focal length when it comes to flying a drone. You're getting just wide enough so you can get those wide vistas, but also it's not so wide that you have to get extremely close to a subject in order for it to fill the frame. And yes, I am holding the drone right now like a vlog camera, don't judge me. Now, you can get a wider focal length by using DJI's wide-angle lens adapter, which they do sell as an accessory, and while I don't have it, based on everything I've seen from other creators with that adapter, it looks really, really good if you want that extra field of view. In terms of capabilities, this drone can shoot in 4K up to 100 frames per second or 1080p up to 200 frames per second, meaning you can capture that slow motion footage from the skies. On top of that, for those of you willing to do a little bit of color grading to get the maximum out of the image you can get from this drone, the Mini 4 Pro now is able to shoot in 10-bit D-Log-M, a flat picture profile that lets you maximize the dynamic range and the color information you can get out of this tiny little sensor, and honestly, the footage looks really good. If you're shooting at night, you can also enable night mode. What this will do is allow you to bump your ISO all the way up to 12,800, and it'll apply some noise reduction and sharpening in camera. Now, I know the pros out there aren't gonna like the fact that the camera is doing noise reduction and sharpening in camera, but what I can say is based on the footage I've been able to get at night, it looks really good. And if I'm gonna be honest, the fact that I can even get usable footage in such low light conditions makes me pretty happy. And something that the Mini 4 Pro can do that not even DJI Airs and DJI Mavics can do is the fact that it can shoot native vertical content by rotating the gimbal vertically. This means you can use the entire sensor and all of that resolution in your vertical content without having to crop in from a horizontal shot. If you're somebody who shoots photos primarily for social media, or if you shoot videos for Reels, TikToks, and Shorts, this is gonna be extremely clutch. One common comment I always see and hear about drone footage is that people will say that it looks choppy or digital. And that's because when you're flying your drone in the sky, especially with a fixed aperture, when you're shooting in a bright sunny day, there's really not much you can do to bring your exposure down other than cranking up your shutter speed, which will give you that stuttery look. So in order to fix that problem, you would do the same thing that you would with a normal mirrorless camera. You would add some ND filters. So you can shoot at 1/50th or 1/60th shutter speed to get that natural motion blur. So I went ahead and bought this set of ND filters, the 6-pack from Freewell, and then a day later they reached out to me and were like, hey, do you want a free set of NDs to talk about on your channel? And so they sent me this 16-pack, and now I don't really have a purpose for this 6-pack, and I thought, why not give it away? So if you're interested in winning a free 6-pack of ND filters from Freewell for your DJI Mini 4 Pro, check out the description box down below on how you can enter to win. While we're at it, let's talk about photo quality. The DJI Mini 4 Pro can shoot both 12 megapixel photos and 48 megapixel photos. But more importantly than that, the image quality you can get from these photos is absolutely incredible. The raw photos you can get out of this camera have incredible dynamic range, tons of color information, and even has incredibly good low noise performance. What this ended up meaning for me was that the DJI Mini 4 Pro is perfect for shooting what DJI calls motion lapses, which is basically just aerial hyperlapses. This is something I've always wanted to learn how to do, and with the incredible image quality, I've finally been able to try it for myself, and this may be my new favorite thing to do. I've always thought time lapses were the bee's knees, but time lapses in the air? Now that's incredible. And while we're on the topic of smart shooting modes, let's talk about some of them. Active Track is the first one that I absolutely love. It's just really improved over the years, and the concept is really simple. All you have to do is drag a little green square around your subject, and the camera and the gimbal is gonna focus and center that subject in your frame. And then there's multiple flavors of this. The first one is gonna be parallel, where it's just gonna go ahead and track your subject from the side, which will end up giving you this really nice slider effect. On top of that, there's the trace mode, where you can tell the drone to follow either far or close from the subject, and either from the front, back, left, or right of the subject. That's how we're getting the shot right now. I told the drone to follow me from the front, and it's gonna go ahead and slowly back up as I'm walking towards the camera, keeping me nice and centered. And on top of that, there's also a 3D, 360-degree active track mode as well, where you can go ahead and draw on this little map and really easily create something like an orbiting shot like this. Or maybe you want manual control over how your drone's flying. Well, then you can use spotlight mode. Draw a box around your subject, and now the drone will keep that subject in center frame while you fly the drone. Meaning if you want a cool ascending orbiting shot, all you have to do is press up to fly up and right to fly right, and the drone will do the rest of the work on keeping your subject center. And oh my God, my dudes, waypoints. This is probably one of the best features DJI has ever put into their drones. What you get to do is set a series of waypoints, which will include information like the GPS position of the drone currently, the direction it's facing, the angle that the gimbal is currently tilted at. And once you set a series of these, all you have to do is hit the go button and record, and now you can automate a complicated set of drone and camera moves through the air to get a really cool shot. And the best part about this is that you can save these waypoints so you can repeat these as necessary. And with that, I was able to do a day to night transition in the air. This technology is much better in their expensive models like the Inspire series, but the fact that you can still get this in a consumer, beginner-friendly drone is absolutely sick. Imagine taking this out to maybe a construction site for a client and being able to set these waypoints and then come back once a week to record this video and be able to get this really cool time lapse over the span of like 6 months of a construction project going from just started to finished. And then there's also a mode called Master Shots, which is similar to Active Track, where you highlight a subject and then you tell the drone what kind of subject it is. Is it a person? Is it a location? And then from there, you hit go, and the drone's gonna automatically go through and get a bunch of different types of shots of that subject. Some orbiting ones, some bird's eye view shots, which again adds to the fact of how beginner friendly this drone is and how easy it is to pick it up and just go ahead and use it, even if you've never flown a drone before. And there's two things I really like about this Master Shots feature. One, you're gonna go ahead and with zero experience, you can get yourself some really cool footage of your vacation, of your trip. But on top of that, you also get to watch and learn how to get those shots manually. And finally, DJI has brought 360-degree obstacle avoidance to the Mini 4 Pro. This is thanks to the added depth sensors on top and to the sides of the drone. So now you'll be able to get warnings when obstacles are too close from any side of the drone. And depending on how you configure those settings, the drone can either ignore the warnings, brake and stop before it hits the obstacles, or try to navigate around the obstacle. Again, for those of you who are more confident in flying, you can turn this feature completely off and still be able to hit those tight gaps. But for the beginners out there, leaving this on will save you a lot of headache and a lot of money, and hopefully you won't crash your drone as often. It also flies incredibly well despite the fact that it's super small and super lightweight. In no wind and some wind conditions, you're able to fly very stably and able to stay on course 99% of the time. Now, in high wind environments, the wind is definitely going to affect this small, lightweight aircraft, and it's going to push it around just a little bit, which might throw your shots off. And definitely in high wind environments, I really recommend cautioning against flying it because, you don't want your drone to just blow away in the wind. For those of you curious, DJI has put their brand new 𝗚𝗘𝗟𝗥𝗦 transmission system into this drone, giving you a max transmission distance of 20 kilometers or 12 miles. Now, you probably don't need to fly that far, nor should you fly that far away, but knowing that the signal strength is that much stronger gives me a lot more comfort in the reliability of the signal transmission when I'm flying in urban areas or behind a lot of objects. Battery life on the Mini 4 Pro is also really, really good. I mean, considering how small this battery is, it's incredible that you can get up to 34 minutes of fly time in perfect conditions. And if you want more than that, their plus size batteries can get you up to 45 minutes of fly time per battery. All right, so let's talk about the price of the Mini 4 Pro. There's a few options when it comes to the bundles you can get, ranging from $759 for just the drone, the RC-N2 controller, and a single battery, and all the way up to $1,159 for their Fly More Plus kit, which includes the drone, RC2 controller with the screen, so you don't have to use your phone, and 3 plus-size batteries along with some extra accessories. Over the years, I've used everything from DJI's Phantom series of drones way early in the day, and to most recently, the Mavic 2 Pro. And I've always ran into the same situation. First, I go, wow, that's so cool, these shots look amazing, this is such a unique perspective. But then I run into the other problem of, this takes up a lot of space in my camera bag. I either need to bring a dedicated bag just for the drone, or I'm gonna have to use half my camera bag for the drone. Now, when it comes to paid client work, I don't mind as much, but when it comes to personal trips, travels, vacations, I always end up leaving the drone behind. But the Mini 4 Pro solves that problem. The image quality is great and is perfect for cutting into my YouTube videos, for my social media posts, all while staying extremely light and compact and really easy to throw into my camera bag. Now, instead of deciding, oh, should I bring my drone, should I not, it's gonna take up a lot of space, now it's more like, of course I'll throw it in my camera bag, maybe I'll want to get a shot, maybe the scenery will be really cool. If you're someone who has always wanted to buy a drone, or maybe you're like me and you bought some drones in the past, but you never really wanted to lug them around, I think the DJI Mini 4 Pro is an incredible buy. And if you're interested in checking it out, links will be in the description down below. All right, that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the Mini 4 Pro in the comment section down below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.